Sports fans, what up? Montana Rollin here, and I'm going to bring to you a new segment I like to call the Salmon Roll. And now, my partner, Sam.
Well, actually, a lot of people know me as Sam here, Justin.
Sam
but I can
here.
understand salmon roll. I was trying to explain to a friend of mine last
Sam
night.
and roll.
Yeah, exactly. We've got Sam here, and we've got Montana Rollin, so salmon roll. I get it. All right, very cute. So I see you got your Chargers shirt on
The
today.
Chargers shirt on, big win at home. Week 1 of the NFL has started, and we could not be happier. A lot of big games went down in the NFL. We'll start with your Eagles, Sam.
Really? Now, look, I happen to wear, this is a very difficult color to find. The Eagles have green. It's not really a green you find anywhere else, and yet, boom, my shirt maker, Raj, made me an Eagles green shirt. I don't have my Eagles cufflinks in today, but huge game for the Eagles, only because there were so many problems going into the season. Everyone was thinking that the dream team, with what Vince Young said, that they wouldn't live up to all the hype. And I was actually very worried about the offensive line, which early in the game wasn't looking so good. 3 and out to start the season. All of a sudden, Steven Jackson gets 1 carry. It's 7-0 Rams. I'm calling everybody I know back home in Philly, and I'm saying, that's it. What the hell's going on? This is done. It's over. Tear up whatever playoff tickets you think are happening. It is over. Of course, the Eagles got it together. Vic ran around for 98 yards, and at the end of the game, you got Bradford injured, you got Steven Jackson injured, and the Eagles look great. But huge game this week in Atlanta.
Michael Vick goes back to the dirty.
It's going to be a big one. It's going to be a big one in Atlanta, of course. What happened to them? Atlanta doesn't show up. They go into Chicago, and that game looked abysmal. Now, my girlfriend, Darcy, she's got Matt Ryan in her fantasy league. She's looking at me all day going, what the hell's happening here? What you told me about Matt Ryan, like he's some kind of big deal, and yet I'm watching all day on Sunday, nothing's happening. Every time they show a highlight, he's falling backwards, the ball's coming out of his hand, Urlacher's running back touchdowns. That was a disaster.
It's going to be an epic game Sunday night in the dirty. The Chargers, Mike Tolbert, the dancing machine, 3 touchdowns on Sunday. The Chargers took care of the Vikings, but they also got a huge game this Sunday.
Okay, look, you consider it a huge game, and I have a feeling that people are going to be a little torn on this one. However, with what we saw on Monday Night Football out of Tom Brady
throws
517 yards, okay, as you well know. He's my fantasy quarterback for whatever that means. I didn't know that until you were texting me panicked on Monday night.
You almost
because I was up, 60, you were up 60 points up on me. It's over until Monday night, and Brady goes and just destroys the Dolphins. But what do you think about the Chargers going into New England? Now, in the past, they've had some success against New England, of course, in the games in the playoffs. We remember how those go. But I don't know. I mean, I think Phillip Rivers, I think the Chargers learned a lot. They were not having a great day against Minnesota. Of course, McNabb.
If it comes down to field goals, we're in trouble.
Very much in trouble. You got Novak now because Kading's out for the season. And, of course, we know special teams are a disaster. They were a disaster to start your game on Sunday with the kickoff by Percy Harvin. But you know what? To me, that's the game I'm actually most excited about watching because I panic through Eagles games. Those are no fun to watch.
How about
Chargers-Patriots?
Cam Newton this week?
Look, let me tell you right now. Cam Newton, what was I expecting from Cam Newton? Now, I'm in something called a death pool. All right, Roll, do you know about those? You know
I've heard of them, but go for it.
You got to pick one game a week that you know the winner, guaranteed. Who's your guaranteed winner week 1? I thought, okay, let's look. I'm looking at the schedule. I like to go with a home team usually early in the season. A lot of tough games, actually, this first week to really pick. You don't know what's going on, who's going to win. And I spot that Carolina-Arizona game, and I say, here you go. Arizona's got Kevin Cobb. He's got Larry Fitzgerald. They're supposed to be the upstart team to take the NFC West. And what do we got out of Cam Newton? Everyone's telling me how much this guy sucks. He can't run a real offense in the NFL. Petros has been absolutely destroying the guy. But look, people beyond Petros have been saying, this guy's not going to make it
and what does
in the NFL.
Do? The first rookie ever, too?
422 yards.
Insane.
I really, look, I got to give it up to Cam Newton. Now, they didn't win their game, so obviously they're not a playoff team yet. But Cam Newton, I mean, if you're a fan of the Panthers, which I'm sure they've lost many over the years, that's a reason to show up at the stadium. It's a reason to watch the Panthers. I was totally
the last big story of the week, the Broncos.
Oh,
should they start Tebow? What's going on? I know it's early. I know it's early.
Look, there's nothing. You'll hear this a lot. Roll. You know this. There's nothing like the saying, we want the backup. Okay? That's all he is right now is the backup. Now, if he was the starter, I think that would change things considerably. All right?
But this isn't going on in any other town.
You're right. But right now, that's because they went into the season. John Fox allowed it to be all throughout the training camp, all throughout the preseason. Well, we're going to see who establishes themselves at the starter. So he didn't go with Orton from day one. As soon as he could, he said it. Obviously, he's a starter coming into the season. They lost to the Raiders.
Fans were on him.
They were all over him. Look, that's a tough game. You start out at home on Monday Night Football, and you let the Raiders come in. Yeah, look, Janikowski hits a record-tying 63-year-old field goal. Of course.
Yards.
Look, it was ugly. I still think Orton is the quarterback in Denver.
Well, you heard it here first on the Sam and Roll. We'll be back week 2, baby.